Hello, this is Dr. McDaniel. Wanted to give you a little 2-week update, so to speak. We're nearing in on a test, and I wanted to just fill you in on a couple things on what we've been doing. So first, we've been looking at Chapter 1 and 2 and 3, a little bit of algebra, I believe. So 1 was mainly focused on some of the vocabulary, descriptive versus inferential, quantitative and qualitative. Make sure you sort of know that terminology. 2, we looked at visual displays of data. So histograms, bar charts, pie charts, things like that. And make sure you can use the technology to do that. I won't ask you to do any of those by hand. StatCrunch is really useful, so make sure you pay attention to that. If you have any questions on StatCrunch or the TI or even Excel, just send me an email. 3, we looked at measures of central tendency, the mean, median, mode, and when one is best or preferred than the other. And we also looked at measures of variation, standard deviation, interquartile range, things like that. And then we looked at measures of position with quartiles, and we looked at box plots and things like that. And a little bit of algebra, one section I think on solving equations, making sure you could do that. If you have any questions at all on any of that before the test, definitely send me an email. We will have a test on Wednesday, February 6th. Reminder about the due dates. If you can get the test done by the due date, you will get 5 extra points added to your test just from doing the test on time. It's a pretty good deal. If you can't, if something comes up, you just don't feel prepared to take it, well, you can take it multiple times. You can take it 2 times, I believe. So definitely get that test done by the 6th. If you need another shot at it, get 3 days, 3-day grace period. You can take it without penalty, but no points are added. So that by the 9th, you definitely need to get done, because after then, there's a 10-point penalty. 10-point penalty, so you don't want to fall in that range. Some have asked about the format of the test. If you want to know the format of any test, you can always just click on the practice test. It's pretty much the same. If you will click on that, it gives you a sense of the number of questions and the scope of questions. I recommend doing the practice test at least twice, because I pull from pooled questions. So the first question may be one question from the first 4. So you don't know which one it is, and I recommend doing the practice test at least twice. Now the first test is not that hard relative to what we do in subsequent sections. So I leave that up to you. Another thing about the workflow. Some people have asked about the workflow, and I've got this in the syllabus, but let me just sort of, now that I can kind of look you in the eye, tell you what the workflow is. Step 1, do the online homework. Sorry, step 1, watch the video. Some people try to do the online homework in the beginning, and you can kind of muzzle through in the beginning, but I really recommend watching that video lecture. Now, a word about I've embedded some quizzes in the videos. This is the first time I've tried that. They're really, at this point, I want to call them just sort of self-assessments. I don't want to count them for any points now. But I do get a report emailed to me that tells me how you did on them, and also how much of the video you're actually watching. I really recommend you watch all the video if you can. So I can kind of tell. So often students will come to me when I did this for the on-ground class, I make them watch these videos. And they say, I'm really confused, and I can check to see you haven't even watched any of the videos for this, so no wonder you're confused. So I recommend that you watch those videos. So step 1, watch the video. Step 2, do the online homework. And you can do each problem until you get it correct. If it doesn't let you do one, let me know, and I'll look into it. So you can do the homework until you get 100% on it. Then for every section, pretty much every other section, there's an online quiz. And this removes all the help aids, so you don't have the help me solve this or view an example on there. And this is sort of another sort of checking mechanism to make sure you really understand what we're doing. They're just 3 questions. You can do it up to 5 times if done by date. After the due date passes, I will, if I remember, I reopen it back up and limit the number of attempts just to 1 if you haven't done it yet. So make sure you get these quizzes done by the due date. You get 5 shots at it, and I take the highest score. Then repeat this until you get to the test. Now, before you take the test, you have to do the practice test. Again, it's just like the test. Do the practice test until you get the grade you want on the test. Then take the test. Don't take the practice test and get a 52 on it. Go, woo, glad I got that practice test out of the way, and take the test, because you're going to get about another 52 on it. Get the practice. Let's say you want to get an A on the test. Take the practice test until you get an A on it. Look over the ones you missed. You can retake it. You can even hit the study plan. This is what really successful students do. They hit the study plan. It'll generate problems to do based on what they've missed on the practice test, which is nice. Then take the test, and you can take the test a couple times. So that's workflow. Quizzes with video, I've already talked about that. The next unit involves lots of algebra sections, so I'm trying to push a lot of the algebra sections right before we do what's called regression. if you've come out of a stats class, maybe in high school or even in an algebra class, they may have done some sort of curve fitting. We're going to really dig into that and see exactly how that works. We're going to let the technology do most of the work for us, which is really nice. So the next unit is on regression and a little bit of algebra. So make sure you hit those algebra sections within the videos. I'm trying to slide those videos into the assignments. It takes a lot of time, so I haven't been able to. Some of you you've already finished the test and a little further ahead than I am of trying to update the course. So my apologies if I haven't been able to update it fast enough. Discussion board. So make sure that you post at least one post on that discussion board, and all it is a bio about yourself. And we need a picture of you, so get a picture of you up there. You can also post any sort of questions in that lounge area. I will try, when you guys send me questions, I may try to reframe them and post them up there and post my replies, because I sometimes take a lot of time in the reply. I even do video replies sometimes, and it'd be nice if everybody had access to that. I will do that sort of on a case-by-case basis. So use that discussion board to post your bio for sure. I'll get a 10-point quiz, so it's an easy quiz for you to post a little bit about yourself and a little picture of you. Definitely email me if you have any questions at all. I know the first unit is not that bad. We're going to start to get into some stuff that you're going to be confused on. Before I forget, I'm not that picky on rounding. My math lab is very picky on rounding. So if it says round to the nearest hundredth, 1,000th, it expects you to do that. I'm not terribly picky, but if it's a homework, just redo the problem. It's quicker and easier for you to do that. It'll help you, remind you to do that. If it's a quiz, though, I can override that pretty easily. Don't feel like you've got to redo the quiz. If you put the answer was 0.00123 and the answer was 0.001228 or something, you rounded to the wrong decimal place, I can override that. I'm not that picky on that. It's a kind of a case-by-case basis, so just email me and let me know which problem it is, and I can go in there and do that for you. So it's great. You guys have been doing good this semester. A lot of people are, I think only one or two have gotten a little behind, and that's okay. Just get caught back up by the test, and we'll make this work. So email me if you have any questions at all. I look forward to working with you.